In today's world, humanity faces a deep paradox. A planet overflowing with people, yet shrinking in livable space, resources, and compassion. Across continents, millions of asylum seekers, immigrants, and refugees are on the move. Some flee war, others dictatorship, or the slow collapse of their environment. By 2025, more than 122 million people have been forced to leave their homes, including 42 million refugees, 73 million displaced inside their countries, and 8 million asylum seekers still waiting for protection. Nearly half are children. Host countries are torn between compassion and fear. While some communities welcome newcomers with open arms, others are being pushed toward anger, not just by politics, but by the behavior of a few who forget that freedom must be honored, not abused. In many Western nations, a small number of new arrivals, often angry or desperate, use their newfound freedoms to fight old battles on new soil. They stage confrontational protests, promote the politics or religion of their homelands, and sometimes disrupt daily life in the very countries that gave them shelter. They do not see how such actions backfire. When refugees or immigrants abuse the hospitality of their host nation, they hand power to the far right, to those who seek to close borders, silence dissent, and strip away rights not only from newcomers, but from everyone. This is how freedom erodes, not all at once, but inch by inch, as fear becomes the excuse for control. After every crisis, governments add new restrictions in the name of security, and once freedoms are taken, history shows they are rarely returned. Nowhere is the collapse of humanity more visible than in Gaza. Between 2023 and 2025, over 62,000 Palestinians have been killed and 156,000 injured, the majority civilians. More than 1.9 million people, nearly 90% of Gaza's population, are displaced. Famine, thirst, and disease spread as infrastructure collapses. This is not a war zone anymore, it is a humanitarian graveyard, and yet the world debates politics while children die for lack of water and bread. Gaza stands as a warning of what happens when empathy dies and ideology replaces conscience. Most refugees and immigrants come to rebuild, not to rebel. They open businesses, pay taxes, and enrich the societies that sheltered them. But in a fragile global climate, even one reckless protest or hateful act can ignite anger that affects millions of innocent newcomers. Host nations, already struggling with housing, inflation, and identity, are reaching a breaking point. Populist movements in the US, UK, and Europe are using these tensions to push for mass deportations and permanent border shutdowns. The tragedy is that genuine refugees, those who truly seek peace, are the ones who suffer most when tolerance runs out. Freedom is a gift, not a weapon. Those who find safety in democratic nations must learn to protect, not provoke, the values that allowed them to come. Integration is not about losing one's identity. It's about mutual respect and cooperation. Host nations must offer education and opportunity, and newcomers must embrace the duty to live peacefully without bringing old conflicts to their new home. When both sides understand this balance, multiculturalism becomes strength, not division. The refugee crisis is not just about borders, it is about the soul of humanity. The question before us is simple: will we choose empathy over fear? Will newcomers honor the freedom they've been given? And will host nations remember that compassion, once lost, is the hardest thing to regain? Because once freedom is taken, whether from refugees or citizens, history shows it is rarely returned. The true test of civilization is not how it treats its powerful, but how it shelters its powerless. And how wisely those who are sheltered use that gift. Shasha 2025